Alright, so I'm here standing next to the Prusa XL. After being the absolute leader in FDM with the MK series, you have the new gen of Core XY printers. Please tell me everything about it.
So, like you said, we've been developing and of course producing the Mark IV series for years. And there was also very high demand for a Core XY printer, not just because it's Core XY, but also for large volume printers. And it wouldn't be fun without having something very unique. So we came up with a fully mechanical tool changing system,
which we can see right over here. So this one has 5 tool heads.
Exactly.
And this is the maximum that the XL will support.
Exactly. So you can select between 1, 2, or 5 tool heads. You can upgrade it later. So, for example, you can buy a single tool head, and if you have need for 2 or 5 tool heads, you can upgrade later. The 5 tool head is currently the maximum, but of course you can switch the nozzles. You can use various materials. So it's just about finding the right purpose for this printer, because IDEX printers used to be super expensive, so there was a completely different market. This is probably between the consumer and then the company level, but it definitely finds a way to company levels as well.
It is not a beginner printer.
Yeah, definitely not. The price tag for the fully assembled 5-tool printer, 5-head printer, Prusa XL, it's about 4,200 euros, including VAT. So it's definitely not the printer for beginners, just because of the price range.
Which is okay. But can you tell me more about the heated bed? Because this is also a very unique design of the way we heat the bed right now.
Exactly. So the Prusa XL uses 16 small heat beds, which they are called heat bed tiles.
So these are little tiles spread fully over the build plate.
Exactly. The reason was not just because the power efficiency, because sometimes you have just a tall print which it's not possible to fit into Mark IV, but you can fit it on the XL, and it would be super silly to heat the full sheet. So for this print, there was just 3 heat bed tiles preheated. So it's just like much higher power efficiency. And also because if, for example, if you need larger print like the wheel, which is a combination of 2 colors of TPU, 2 colors of PTG, and 1 PLA, the segmented heat bed prevents cold edges in comparison to one large heat bed.
So the print doesn't warp.
Exactly. Like this one, I even use lower temperature for the heat bed just because of the interlayer cohesion between the TPU and the PTG. So I managed to work the TPU on 50 degrees instead of the recommended 70 degrees.
Which is nice. This is also a very good way to stop the waste filament you see on competition like the bamboo, which purges out the nozzle, poops out the resin. This is not necessary with these print heads. They don't have to purge.
There is a small tower which is called wiping tower. So the difference between the purge and wiping tower is that the wiping is just for stabilizing the pressure inside of the nozzle in order to prevent, for example, gaps in parameters or under
because the resin, the filament will ooze out because it's hot.
We have also a very cool feature. It's called nozzle seal. It's basically spring-loaded, rubberized. It looks like a lollipop, which seals out the nozzle. So when the toolhead is parked, it won't ooze out, but there is still a small drop of pressure inside of the toolhead.
And to absolutely avoid any gaps between change of toolheads, then you have that little wipe line.
Exactly. But if I take this one as example, you can see that it has the material consumption of 1847 grams, but only 56 of it was the wiping tower.
Which is okay.
That's like almost nothing.
Almost nothing. To give the people at home an idea of how long this printed.
It's 79 hours.
79 hours.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to take some time to print.
It will definitely take some time, but if I would use a printer with not a tool changer, but with a single tool head and the materials swapping system, it would be probably like 3 times more, because you need to purge out the filament. Here, with a wiping tower and with a tool changing system, the tool changing or time between the tool changes is between 5 to 10 seconds, depending on which tool is grabbed and which tool is parked. So it's super.
5 to 10 seconds is okay, yeah?
It's like Yeah, with the competitors, which they are where they are necessary to purge out the filament, it can be up to 2-3 minutes almost. Especially if you are changing from, for example, red to white, you really have to purge out a high volume of the filament to have like pure white and not like pink.
So you don't have color gradients in your prints.
Exactly.
So this is also very suitable for ABS printing.
Exactly.
What can you tell me about it?
Here we have it's a prototype. It's not released yet. We are still polishing a couple things. But here we have a Prusa enclosure for the Prusa XL, of course.
This is optional?
It's optional. It will be available as a separate add-on. So it's a Prusa enclosure, and then we have also draft shield, which looks like accordion. So you can lift it up when you need.
It magnetically snaps together.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Easy, simple solution. We are also developing add-ons into it. So right now we have only the LED, so light system. There will be a fire suppression system on the other side, and there will be also filtering unit at the back. But they are still in development. We are still polishing the design, and the real thing will came after that, and that's finding the right manufacturers.
And you also have a brand new extruder on this?
Yeah, it's called Nextruder.
Nextruder.
The Nextruder was proved to be the game changer on the field of FDM printing, because it has the biggest contact surface between the feeding gear and the filament. There was a number of tests on the YouTube or on the blog posts, and they prove that the Nextruder have the biggest contact surface, which means that the filament can be, for example, heated to lower temperature in order to push it out, or you can reach higher speeds. So that's why we are also thinking about developing our new high flow nozzle.
High flow nozzle.
But it will
Can you
take some
tell me
time.
about it?
I can't, because I have no idea about the development. When it comes to development questions, our development team is keeping everything as a secret. So even for us, for tech support, it's a big surprise.
And also the competition is listening, so.
Exactly.
What is the maximum rated flow of this hot end, or this complete extruder right now?
Right now we are still finding the highest flow rate, because we are working on input shaper. So unfortunately I have no data about it, but if I remember correctly, it also depends on the nozzle size, and also layer diameter, and the exact filament manufacturer, because it's not a PTG as a PTG.
And what is the typical speed that people can expect from the Prusa XL?
Honestly, no idea. It's written in our Prusa slicer. So if you open a Prusa slicer and you go to, for example, you can select 0.25 millimeter speed profile. You can see the print speed for perimeters, top solid layer, bottom solid infill, or the infill itself. So there's various speeds. So I don't want to say a general printing speed, because it usually doesn't match the right thing. It's we can write on the add-on it's 20,000 millimeters per second, but that's not the reality. Yeah. We disclose it on the blog post.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You also want quality of the print and not only speed.
Exactly. As Joseph Prusa said, we are not aiming to win the speedboat, the
speedboat test.
We are aiming on the maximum reliability and on the print quality. So
absolutely.
Whenever you print one part, we want to make sure that if you print it after a year, the part will look exactly the same, with the exact same dimensions and the quality, which is very hardly reachable with high-speed printing, because of the many various things which can affect it.
That's probably also why people are waiting for input shaping, because I think it was announced a year back that there would be, even on the MK series, that there would be input shaping.
Yes, we released it. We announced it. I think it was a year ago. The Mark IV got the input shaper much sooner, because on the XL there was ongoing development of the tool heads and on the tool changer. But right now we have the alpha version of the input shaper here, which makes the printer faster and also quieter, because because of the input shaper
and also
pressure
reduces
times.
the ringing probably around the corners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's still alpha version. There are still some bugs which needs to be polished out. We really want to take our time to develop a perfect firmware what our customers expect. So we don't want to rush anything. We just really want to take our time, especially since the 5 toollet is a very complex printer. We're going to make sure that it will work exactly how our customers expect.
That's something you will have to give credit to Prusa, that the integration of the printers and the slicer software is just click and go. It's really amazing.
Exactly. Like I always said, you have a printing and a printing.
Yeah.
You will spend hours and hours dialing the printer,
Yeah.
or just by us, our Prusa slicer, the wall, like system. So we have prepared profiles for various manufacturers and various types of material, printers as well. We have also profiles for the printers even from the competitors.
Yep. Which is nice to see. Honestly, super nice to see. I do not like the closed off ecosystems. It's a thorn in my eye. So I really applaud it that it's open source for basically everything and everybody.
Exactly.
Very nice.
So, yeah, like I said, if you buy printer, you have a slicer. You can also buy our Prusa Filament, Prusa, which we started manufacturing to cover another variable.
Yeah.
Because you can have perfect printer, you can have a perfect settings, and if you have like a proof quality filament with very wide tolerance,
Yeah.
the prints won't look very good. So that's why our Prusaments have a tolerance of 20 microns.
I have noticed it myself with cheap filaments that even they claim it, and then you see blobs on it and your prints are failing, and that's what you get with cheap filaments. That's also why some filaments are more expensive, just the sheer quality control on it. It needs to be paid.
Exactly. Yeah, it's. I do recommend if you have, for example, if you are printing rapid prototyping, it's fine to use cheaper filaments because the prototype is usually just a waste.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
because of that, we also came up with refill spools, so we can reuse the plastic side, so we are not producing another plastic waste. Or we are also producing recycled filament.
Yeah.
And our latest release, which we are showing there on the Prusaments table, it's 4 PLAs with natural pigments. So there is algae, there is corn, and 2 more. I forgot those 2.
So there are no color additives, you mean?
Exactly, it's just the natural pigments added to it to make the color.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
also the nice smell.
So we just talked about the Prusa XL. Is there going to be a printer that is more focused on the beginner, so the cheaper Core XY?
Right now, there is no sign of development for a cheaper printer. We just announced the Prusa Pro versions, but it doesn't mean that our developers are just focused on one product.
Yeah.
In Prusa Research, we have multiple development teams which are dedicated to exact line of products. So it's not just like one huge team jumping between the work. So that's a little bit confusing to some of our visitors because they think that we are really focused on just one product and then abandoning the others. So unfortunately, no information.
No cheaper Core XYs?
Right now, no information about it.
All right. What is the future looking like for the MK4? Or is it now the MK5? Are we there yet?
No, the Mark IV was released very recently. It was basically, I think it was beginning of April, we released the Mark IV. Then we received thousands and thousands of orders. It was really crazy. Before that, we would cover the first day with hundreds of prepared units. There was a mistake. The hundreds of units were sold out within a couple of hours. It was almost immediate. So the Mark IV is currently the up-to-date model.
Yeah, and so this is the printer to go for the beginner printer.
Or the Prusa Mini, which got alpha version of input chipper as well.
Yeah, so they are now all stocked with standard input chipping.
Exactly. We also have the older model, the Mark VS Plus, which is honestly a workhorse. So if you, for example, if you don't need the speed of the Mark IV, but you need bigger build volume than the Mini, you can still buy the Mark VS Plus, which have the more likely similar build volume like the Mark IV. It's just the ZX is just shorter by 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are offering also a different solution. So if the Mark IV is way too fast for the user, or the price is just higher than the budget allows, Then there is the Mark VS Plus, which is time verified printer.
Very good. This is also why I love Prusa. This printer just keeps getting development, keeps getting updates to reach into the future. So very well job.
Exactly. Like we are listening to the community. We are very closely working.
Very
with the
important,
community.
in my opinion.
Exactly. So whenever there is a need for a new feature, you can, you as for example as a user, you can write it to our GitHub as a pull-up request. And our development teams, they are checking the GitHub very frequently. They are answering on the questions or on I don't know, bugs or errors. So not just because of the future development of the product, but also helping our users. So it's not just us from a tech support, it's also our devs which are helping the users as well on the GitHub.
Great. Thank you so much for this interview. I had a great time. And I hope to work with you guys in the future.
This piece of content was provided by myself, so if you want to support the channel, you can do that in two ways. The first way is by subscribing to the channel, and the second way is giving me a big thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed the next content piece on Formnext, and I see you in the next one.